Okay, so use substitutions to solve for each of the equations. This is what you guys are going to take your quiz on at the end of the hour today. So when we're using substitution to solve for each of the equations, what we're going to look at is we're going to see if we have one of the equations, if it has a variable all by itself on one side of the equal sign. Do we have that? Yeah. So we're going to take that equation and substitute it into the bottom of the equation. So when I see which variable am I going to substitute for? Y, yeah. So I'm going to have this y. When I see that y, I'm going to substitute what for it? Good. Okay. I have my equation, so I'm going to go ahead and solve. 2x plus 3x equals, so then I have 5x equals 15. Get the x by itself by, not minus 5, divide by 5. So then x is going to equal 3. Okay. So I have the first part of my solution. Now remember, a solution is going to be where you have an ordered pair, an x and a y value. So I know what x equals. So now I need to determine what y equals. You can substitute in either equation to determine what y equals. Which equation would you guys like to use? Yeah, the top one is short, right? So we have y equals 3x. What variable am I going to substitute for? X. Yeah. So y equals 3, and what do I substitute for x? Okay, so then y is going to equal what? 9. So my solution is going to be, what's my solution here? 3, 9. Make sure you put parentheses around that to show that it's an ordered pair and box it. Nice job. I really want to. What's that? Okay, moving on to the next one. Now, again, we're going to look. Do I have an equation where the variable is by itself? Josh, do I have an equation where the variable is completely by itself?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to take that equation, and I'm going to substitute it into the other equation. So are you watching? Yeah. So I have 3, and now what am I substituting for? X, and what do I put in place of x? Okay, so I have 3 times negative 4. Then what do I write?
7.
Sorry about that. So what we're going to do here, we're going to have, as Josh just told us, we're going to take this x equals negative 4, and we're going to substitute it into the equation below. So it's going to be 3 times negative 4 plus 2y equals 26. So what variable am I trying to solve for here? Y. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and simplify. So what do I do first? Which equals? Then I bring down my plus 2y equals 26. Then what? Plus 12. So then I have 2y equals what? Okay. So then y is going to equal
19.
Okay. So I know the value of y. Do I know the value of x?
No. Yes.
Yeah, this one I do. So what's my answer going to be to my system? What's my x value?
Negative 4.
Comma,
19.
in parenthesis, and box. Good. So the front two, we made fairly easy. We didn't have to do a whole lot of rearranging in order to get our variables by itself. Let's take a look at the back here. The back side, it's not true though, is it? So the back side, what's the first thing that I'm going to have to do? Do you not have a pencil?
No.
Grab one up off my desk. As in now.
I got him.
There we go. Okay, so what do I have to do first?
What do I do first? You got me simplify the top.
What do you mean by simplify the top?
Get one variable by itself.
Yeah, why'd you pick the top one?
It's easier.
Because? You're right.
X minus 2.
Yeah, I already have a variable that's by itself there. So I'm going to get the x by itself. So all I have to do is just minus that 2y from each side, and then I rewrite my equation. So what's my equation going to look like here, Ben?
X equals negative 2y plus 13.
Okay, what am I going to do with this new equation that I just rewrote?
Use it to substitute for the bottom.
That's right. So when I go to use it to substitute for the bottom, how would I rewrite that?
3 parentheses negative 2y plus 13.
Okay.
Parentheses minus 5y equals 6.
Good. All right, man, that's a long one, isn't it? Okay. Now what do I do?
Distribute.
Yeah, I'm going to distribute. And that's going to equal,
Negative 6y plus 39.
Equal minus 5y equals 6.
okay. Now what do I do, Riley?
Combine my terms.
Yep, that equals,
1.
you owe me $6, you owe me 5 more. Negative 6 minus 5.
Negative 2.
How about negative 11y? Don't forget, use those calculators and need them. Okay, now what? Josh?
Minus 39.
And that equals,
Negative 11y equals 37. A negative 32.
okay. Last step, Dylan?
Divide.
By?
Negative 11.
And that equals,
3.
holy but geez, that's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I know the value of y, but I need to know the value of x. Which equation do you want to use to find the value of x? Now remember, you can use the first one, you can use the second one, or you can use the one that we also created. So which one do you guys want to use to find the value of x?
3.
The third one, yeah, I agree. So we have x equals negative 2y plus 13, okay? I know the value of y. What's my value of y?
3.
3. So I'm going to substitute that in there, correct? So I'm going to take x equals negative 2 times 3 plus 13, okay? What next? Equals 6 plus 13. Then x equals what?
Do you just combine like terms? 19.
19. So what's my solution?
19 comma 3.
What goes around it?
Parentheses.
And then a box. Nice job.
I just drew a pretty nice box.
It's the little things that make us happy in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do the last one.
I'd like to hear something from Maddie.
Okay, Maddie, you got this. No, from me was a.
What? Okay, so let's take a look at them together then. Look at both of the equations. Do I have an equation where the variable is just all by itself on one side of the equal sign? But nothing else with it? No. The bottom one is the one I'm going to get. That's the one I'm going to start with. So I'm going to start with x minus 3y equals negative 3. Now my goal is to get the x, and I'm going to pick the x because it's already by itself, on the equal sign, on one side of the equal sign without anything else with it. So what do I have to get rid of to do that? How do I do that? So I'm going to add 3y to both sides. Can I combine those? 3 and 3y, are they like terms? No. So I'm going to rewrite it as x equals 3y minus 3. Okay? Now, I'm going to use it to substitute it into which equation? Yeah, the top one. So it's going to be, so when I see that x, what do I put in place of that x?
I got a question.
Yes.
So on the last one, on the very last step, so you put -2 times 3. Why didn't you put -6?
Oh, that's a great question.
What?
Because I was listening to somebody. What should it be? What should it be?
-6 plus 13.
Which would then equal what?
7.
7.
Hey, Chance. Give yourself a +2. Good job. Okay, so when back to my other problem. Good catch. So I'm going to put 2, substitute for x. So what do I substitute for x? Perfect. Then what? Remember, I'm substituting for this equation up here, so what comes after x?
Oh, 2,
Plus?
5
Mm-hmm.
equals 30.
There you go. Okay. Now what do we do?
Distribute
Okay. So when I distribute, what does that equal?
6 y -6 plus 5y 78.
Okay. Then,
Do you have to minus the y or this?
well, you're in combined like terms. Combine your like terms.
Oh,
So it's 6y plus 5y.
11
11y.
minus 6.
Okay, now what?
Minus 6.
Which the opposite of -6 is?
6, sorry.
Okay.
For your 11
What does that equal?
1, 4.
Okay. To get the y by itself, I divide. So y is going to equal, there we go. That's a lot of work. Nice job. You got it, though. I'll leave that up there for you, too, okay? Okay, now I know the value of y. I need to know what the value of x is in order to get our ordered pair. Hopefully I can do it right this time. Which equation do you guys want to use in order to solve for x?
Third one.
Third one, okay? So we're going to do x. It doesn't matter. Would it matter? No, not really. Okay, so what do I substitute for here? Which variable am I substituting for? Y. What do I put in there?
4.
Okay,
3 times 4.
12. 12 minus 3 is
9.
9. So what's my solution?
9, 4.
So my x value is 9. My y value is 4. Are we all in agreement?
Sure.
Don't sure me. Are you positive?
Absolutely.
Are we sure? Positive? No mistakes, no errors? Okay.